Hello, welcome to this Sunday show. And today we are talking about the Vanara, Shri Ram ki Vanar sena. You know, so I'll wait for all of you to join. So today's talk, we or discussion, we are going to discuss the who were Vanara, because this is a major confusion. And I'm going to talk from Valmiki Ramayan because that's the most authentic source to tell you what is Vanara. And there are many Sanskritists who offer lots of inputs on why the word Vanara is invented or created and why it is being used. So, in my book, uh, One Arrow, One Kill, which is based on Valmiki Ramayan, and basically I wanted to show that who are these people and what was Sri Ram doing using one arrow, one kill. Like he was an expert warrior and he used one arrow to kill one demon. So those of you who are watching and part of it, so let me know. And if you are commenting on it, do feel free to comment on it and let me know your feedback. Probably you can hear me or not. I do not know that. So who is Vanara? Now, first of all, uh, the if you do not understand the concept of Vanara or the who are these Vanara, practically the whole Valmiki Ramayana doesn't make sense to you, because the Vanara is a very special group of people who were sent to actually the create the help Sri Ram in his conquest of Ravan. Now, if you know the background, Brahma and all the Devatas, they invited Brahma, through Brahma, that Vishnu should come to remove the the, the Ravan, because the Ravan was also became very powerful because of the boons of Brahma. So Brahma had to also arrange the armies, and generally it is said that whenever Vishnu comes, at that time, uh, the entire uh, the entire devata also come, you know? And I'm sorry, like Spiky Brar, if you are not comfortable with English right now, because we have a lot of international audience also coming in, so I'll have to speak both Hindi and English. So maybe I speak on that sometime later on, not today, not this time. So when we talk about Vanara is a very special person, and a group of people who are ordered to come here. Like I said, whenever Vishnu comes to earth, all the devatas are also ordered to come. Okay, and I'll take all the questions later on. I know a lot of questions are coming right now, so I'll take all the questions later on. So when we talk about Ramayan, when we talk about Vanara, so the Vanara means the a special group of people who were ordered to come by Brahma. So many theories on Vanara, and I'm going to take you through the pages. So some of you may think Vanaras were monkeys. Yes, most of the devatas were ordered to take birth in the families of rich Vanara, or monkeys, or apes, and even birds also. Many devatas were ordered to take birth in these families through their sons. So the specific criteria was used was, if you ask a specific criteria, was that they should be able to change their forms at will, they should be able to travel at will, they should be knowledgeable in nyaya, and they should be able to actually traverse at large distances. Okay, so the large distances were like they should be able to traverse wherever they want to go. So now if we do that, then let me share the presentation actually. Then you will be able to see that very clearly. They should be able to travel large distances based at will, and that was the uh, criteria which was shown. Like for example, the if you look at the uh, Nyaya and Arthashastra, this is from my book One Arrow One Kill, and you can see that these special Vanara were traveling to places like they helped Sugriva. They helped Sugriva. They're part of Sugriva's armies, and they travel to south, east, north, west, and south. You have seen one of my first presentations 2 or 3 weeks back, in which I showed that where the Sugriva's armies went, and there they were very well trained for all kinds of astra and shastra. Because see, Ravan was a very formidable enemy. You could not defeat Vanara, Ravan, by human to human fight. So Ravan was so powerful that uh, just give me a second. So Ravana was so powerful that he was able to actually uh, travel the seas. He had control over every single part of the planet. He was in the north. He was in the south. He had only in India, only region where he did not go north further was Janasthan, and without other than Janasthan, he could not travel anywhere else. This was a northern limit of Ravana's boundary, and therefore he probably did not attack Ayodhya because it was very well protected by Dashrath. So Astra and Shastra, just like Devata, this was the requirement, and this is the order of Brahma, because the Brahma asked all the Devata that Vishnu, that you have to go and assist him in his mission. So these are not ordinary monkeys or ordinary apes, you call it, or any of the orangutans or reach. They were not ordinary people. These were really uh, powerful children of Devata. And so you can say Golangul, that's a Sanskrit name used for Langur, and Reach. They were all children of Devata. Therefore, they were exceptionally powerful. The and and one of the things I always joke is that the Ravan's pride was broken by the monkeys. I say that all the time, just to show that how powerful is Vishnu. Because Ravan was extremely powerful. He even went to the Swargloka. He was able to defeat Kubera, his own cousin. And one of the things people say about Ravan that he is a Brahman Putra, but generally Brahman, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, Shudra are not known by birth. They are known by karma, by their activities and their qualities. Generally, they are not known by that. So if anyone says that he is Brahman Putra, yes, that is a fact also. But he was considered Brahma Bandhu, a friend of Brahman, not a Brahman. Brahman is a qualification. So, and then they were all aspects of Veda also. Some people say, how could they become aspect of Veda? They become expert in Veda because they were monkeys. Well, these are not ordinary people. They were the children of Devata. And Brahma is the one who specifically asks that that produce main children like you from Apsaras and different Apsaras. And then he says that Naga, Riksha, other people. So they're different people. Uh, so we all know Jambavan was came directly from Brahma. Then you may ask that Brahma is a looks like a human. How could he produce Jambavan? You may ask that. But Jambavan is a directly a son of Brahma. Indra, Indra produced Vali. Like if you look at the map, this is where Vali was born, Mahendragiri, and Mahendragiri. This Mahendragiri is in Odisha. So people do not know that the Vali was born in Mahendragiri, and Mahendragiri is on the east coast of India. There are two Mahendragiris in India. One is Mahendra Parvat in the Kerala, and Mahendragiri is in Odisha. And Surya, Surya gave birth to Sugriva, and again from a mother who is from the same family as Sugriva. And from Brahaspati, came Tara. This is another monkey, a great Kapi. His name was Kapi Tara. From similarly, Kuber gave Gandhamadhan. If you know Kuber, Kuber is the same person who is a cousin of Ravan also. From him came Gandhamadhan from a monkey, and the Vishwakarma gave birth to Nal, and this is the same Nal who built that bridge. And Nal was very well trained by Vishwakarma to build a bridge. So Nal Setu, which was built to cross over to Lanka, also came from Devta, which is Vishwakarma. And then Ashwini Kumar gave birth to Mand and Dvid also. So Ashwini Kumar are the twin brothers. We all know they have medicine. They offer medicines and they cure people. Ashwini Kumar, they call Devta. They are the same persons in Mahabharata also. In the Yamala Arjun pastime, Leela, they are also there. From Varun came Sushena and Mahabali. Now these people, you need to know who they are and how they're connected. Now you will see Sushena is being used to, after you cross the bridge, Sushena is guarding the bridge on the other side because he's from Varun. He's the son of the Varun. So Varun Devta, not only Varun Devta produced Sushena, but Varun Devta also gave way to the ocean. And Nala, who is a brother, Nal is a child of brother of Varuna, who was Vishwakarma. He gave birth to the Nala, so that the bridge can be built. So Nala, Sushena, and Varun, all three are related, and their duties were all near the bridge which was being made. And Sharab, Mahabali Parjanya gave birth to Sharab. Now Parjanya is another devta which is responsible for food grains. He is storing the food grains. उन्होंने शरब को जन्म दिया. शरब was responsible for supplying food. And Vasudev is another devta, not Bhagwan Vishnu. Vayudev gave birth to Hanuman, and we all know that Vayudev is the actually the all the major strong devtas have come from Vayu. Like for example, Bhim. We all know Bhim in Pandavas. They also come from Vayu. Of all the forces of nature, the most powerful force of nature is Vayu. Everything else is not as powerful. Agni is not powerful. Water is not powerful. The most powerful force of nature is water. Sorry, air, because air can move water, air can move fire, and air can move earth. All three it can move. So Hanuman, and he was, the qualities were given by Brahma was he was as fast as Garud. He was the most intelligent and strong amongst all the Vanara. And so so not just one or two, thousands of Vanara leaders were born, and they were all ready to assist Shri Ram. And it is mentioned that the bears, man, langur, all these different came from Vanara. So the most of the appearance of these children of Devta had, even though they're born in a Vanara body, but they were as effulgent, or what you call it, as radiant as the Devtas themselves. So when somebody says these were Vanara, or just calling them monkey is not enough. Calling them monkey is not enough, because they are not, they're called, there's a Sanskrit word you have to use, which is Vanara, means they were exceptionally strong. And Vanara also means monkey in Sanskrit language also. So the both ways is correct actually. And then Siddha Charana, and then Gandharva, and all the assistants, the whole armies also came from other Gandharvas and Siddha community and other Devta. These are Siddha Charana Devta, Gandharva, then you have Siddha, then you have Brahma Devta. These are all different types of the categories of Devta. Now, these Vanaras had a unique capability. If they wanted to dry out an ocean, they can do that. They could destroy the mountain peaks. They can fly as high as they can. They can jump very large distances. And they could go to any place necessary as possible on planet Earth. And that's why you'll see when Shri Ram meets Sugriva, he wants to take that help because he doesn't know where Ravan has hidden Sita. He doesn't know that. So the Sugriva's description of planet Earth is so accurate. I've showed it one, just one part I've shown you earlier, and on the position of Lanka. But in some of the future episodes, I'm going to show very accurate description of the Earth. Even today, those descriptions stand. You know, whether it's a north, south, east, or west, and nothing has changed so far. In fact, the ocean levels have risen, but if you remove the water level or take it down to 20,000, 30,000, or even couple of million years back, then you will see exactly what they're describing. How could they reach the Earth, different parts of the Earth. Now, of all these different Vanara, Vali and Sugriva were the leaders of everybody. Vali, we all know, they used two brothers, and Vali is the son of Indra, and Sugriva is the son of Surya. And we all know they were both brothers, and the worst fights happened between brothers. It's a historical thing. I don't know how. Except Shri Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrugna, we all have seen that they become the worst of enemies. These were not, they were born from same mother but different fathers, pretty much. And so the Nal, Neel, Hanuman, they were also other Vanara leaders who were serving Sugriva or Vali. So Vali had was known to be a very good king, but there was a misunderstanding between him and Sugriva. We all know Sugriva did offer Vali the entire kingdom. He said he wanted him to take up the entire kingdom. Though the earth, even in the Ramayana, if you see, it is mentioned to be seven islands and mountains, and also 13 additional islands in Ramayana also. And that is the same true also. You can check out, there are seven main islands, which are the seven main continents, and there are 13 smaller islands which serve as on the south of the main islands or north, but there are 13 other main islands. So when you when you talk about Vanara, yes, the answer is yes, you're right. That Vanara are Vanaras or monkeys or other animals, but these Vanaras in Ramayana, which are mentioned to be part of Sugriva's army, they are not ordinary people. They were ordered by Brahma to be sent down to assist Shri Ram. Now, if you look at the different armies being sent out from by the no, to the north, to the south, to the west, to the east, you'll see a lot of different type of armies being sent out. Like the army which is sent out in the north is 200,000. East is the biggest army Sugriva sends, which is almost 250,000 plus. North is 100,000. West he sends again 200,000, and south he sends 100,000. Because after discovering, they first went to east. One army went to the east, one went to the north, one went to the west, and the last was they started searching south. So in the south was sent Angad, the son of Vali, Sugriva, Vali, and then Angad was sent to the south along with Hanuman, Jambavan, and other military leaders. So those were the armies which were sent to the south, and so this is how the armies were distributed all over the planet Earth. And without the help of these Vanaras, Shiram would have never searched, never would be able to search the armies. They never be able to search the armies, of the south. Uh, so the point which I'm trying to say is that the the Vanaras played a very important role in the search of Mother Sita. Now, who are these Vanaras? And I will definitely cover that. In I've definitely spoken about it. These Vanaras were the children uh, of Devtas. The point which I'm trying to say is that the confusion which is created that these Vanaras were special human beings of being apologetic about it, that they cannot be monkeys. This is a later thought. These are the same people who respect mythology. We don't have to be apologetic about Vanara at all. Vanaras are special. Vanaras are monkeys, but the children of Devta in the monkeys, in the monkey families. We don't have to be apologetic about it, because this is the way Brahma designed. So when some people say, many people I hear all the time, the Vanaras are not monkeys, they feel very apologetic about it. Why should you be apologetic about it? Why you should feel sorry that one of our leaders, or he cannot be a monkey? We have to think from the perspective of time, of Ramayana time, that this was a story over there. One of the problem is with that kind of thought process is that once, if you do not believe that the Vanara were monkeys, then the entire Ramayana doesn't make sense. Hmm? Because if it doesn't make sense, and if you give the logic of DNA and other things which you want to say, that the DNA have shown that these are humans, those theories don't become valid here, because DNA is a post study. It is not a study while the incident is going on. And the episode of Vanara, special Vanaras being created to actually defend the rule, defend the or find, search for Sita, it could not have been done by Manushya. Humans could not have done it, because the Ravan was so powerful. Humans were totally incapable of fighting with him. So the army had to be arranged, which is not human. At the same time, it is superhuman, or in some other species. So Ravan was least worried about monkeys, and so Brahma arranged a surprise factor over there. Very many things you learn, that why Vanara was chosen, as a chosen army of Sugriv for Shri Ram, because the surprise element. Ravan was very powerful. I've already explained, extremely powerful. No human army in the world can fight with Ravan even today. No human army could fight with Ravan even during that time or even today. Sri Ram's birth was especially meant to destroy Ravan. That was the main reason. That's why the Devtas approached Brahma. And third is, the Ravan had already conquered Swarga, had conquered Narak. Most of the Devtas were already captured by him. So he could understand every single strategy of the Devta. And so there was very little that could be done to oppose him. And nobody knew where he had hidden Sita. So you need some superhuman powers to know where his Sita is hidden. Earth is like to search for one person. And I usually call this entire story that for the woman's pride, for one woman, Mother Sita, the entire earth was searched, north, south, east, west. There is a complete there is a complete this this is not done any time before in the history. And for the woman's pride, this is what is done. So if somebody says that what has Sri Ram done, or when people talk about that why Sri Ram left Sita, but Sri Ram killed Ravan also for Sita. So you have to understand that. So we have to counter question them, that what kind of nonsense is that he left Sita. Here is a whole Ravan war. The Ramayan was done to kill Ravan, which was, he kidnapped Sita. Sita was in his captivity for 11 months. So the point is, Vanara were monkeys, and Vanaras were the many historical facts and many proofs are there that Ravana were monkeys. They had tails. Sri Ram had tails. Hanuman had tails, and Hanuman had tails. Sugriva had tail, but they were also ichhadhari, or they could change their form at will. So it was not important. So it was not important that they were just the Vanara, but it was also very important that they were able to change their forms at will. They could become small, they could become big, they could jump large distances, and they could travel large distances also. And so this was the characteristic needed. So if somebody had to search for Sita in the east, now I'll cover the whole story of Vanita, the Vanita Vanar. He traveled to the entire east for the search of Sita. Like if I go back to the chapter here in this book, this is One Arrow One Kill, which I published. So if you want to learn more, you can go through this book. There are a lot of details I've written. So if you look at the global search for Sita, So the so just give me a second. We'll go there. North. You can keep asking questions over there. I'm going to answer that towards the end. Okay. So you can keep on doing there. Let me just go here. So even today, like I was telling you, the examples of Vanar. Okay. In the golden Vanara, there's mention of different types of Vanara. One of them was golden. Now you will see that many of the monkeys in South America are golden monkeys, like the picture which you can see on the screen here. And and there are monkeys from Tibetan regions which look like this. You'll be shocked to see in Valmiki Ramayana exact descriptions are there, that how many monkeys come from which area. Like for example, in Himalaya came 10 trillion Vanaras. Now these numbers may sound to be very, very illogical and exaggerated. But if you look at the size of Ravana's army, then these numbers are very small, or just matching. The Ravana's army was very big, huge. In fact, the armies of Ravana have been so big that the Shri Ram had to match a Rakshas to a man, to a Ravanara, one to one. And so Shri Ram just not did go with a bow and arrow to kill just Ravan. He had to first match the armies of Ravan, and then they went proceeded to actually fight with Ravan. So man to man, like if you look at the count, the armies of Ravan and armies of Ram literally came to the same count. And and most of these monkeys were sent, like this is the count which is mentioned there: Parardha, Madhya, Antya. And you'll be shocked to see the count which is mentioned is Abja, Kharva, and Mahapadma. These are the normal counts being said. So not small number of monkeys. And like most of the modern people will say, or the mythologists will say, that these counts are mythological, not true, not possible. Even today, if you go to South America, the general count of a monkeys in the official records is said to be around 200 to 400 million. The total population of South America must be around 400 million, and equal numbers are roughly the monkeys, equal numbers. So these many monkeys you can still count over there. In India, I do not think so any official census has been made, but we do not know the actual count. But if you find the position of monkeys, they're found all over the world. All over the world, they're found. So on the east was Vinata. Vinata's Vanara was sent to the east, and he was sent with almost 200,000 monkey. To the south, and the entire description is given, Yavadvip. Like if you see the shloka there, Yatnavanto Yavadvipam Saptarajo Pashobitam Suvarna Rupya Dvipam Suvarna Karamandita. So this is the place where the golden mines are there. And these seven islands are mentioned there. Seven islands name is also there. And the number is mentioned is there. Yavadvipam Suvarna Rupyak Dvipam Yatnavanto Yap Sapta Rajo Pashobitam. Seven islands. And these are the seven islands which are south of Indonesia today. And on the east, if you see, so the entire they went via the east of India through Indonesia, and they reach this area, which is in this. The description in Sanskrit is Tato Rakta Jalam Prapyam Shonakhyam Shigravahinam, means that there is a river which has the water like a blood color, and then beyond that is the mountain of Candelabra. So this is the description given in Valmiki Ramayana. Trishira Kanchana Ketulastasya Mahatmana स्थापित पर्वत स्याग्रे विराजित सवेदिका पूर्वस्याम दिशि निर्माणम कृतम तत् त्रिदशे शोरे. Now, if you actually study the geography of South America, this place is in Peru. And exact one, now this is not something created in sand. This is a mountain side, and nobody knows. If you look at the Peru historians from Peru, they do not know when was this made. But the description, exact description, is given in Valmiki Ramayan, and you can compare that. So this sign can be there anywhere, but this actually shows, this shloka also shows where it is exactly located. This is called Udaygiri. So after crossing all these seven islands, and then they reach a shore. So, so what you see exactly is that after they cross Papua New Guinea, and then the straight line from there, if you go towards the Pacific Ocean, there is no other place this shloka can be completely set. So there is a mention of after they cross the Suvarna Dweep, then they proceed to a large mass of land on the shores, which if you look at the map, if you Google Map or Google Earth, then you'll see that it will directly touch the Peru area, the Peru mountains. Now I can show you on a Google Map also, but today I'm at a different location. I cannot show you that like last time I did. Maybe in some other show in future I'll definitely do that. But this is the shloka you can see. Trishira Kanchana Ketusmalasasya Mahatmana Sthapita Parvatasagre Virajati Savedika. So this is a Vedic sign. Vedika means yagya or yagya. This sign is shown Purvasyam Dishi Nirmanam Katam Tata Tridesh Trida Sheshware Tata Param Hemamayam Shri Udaya Parvata. This is called Uday Parvat. So if you look at the Andes mountain range, so generally one aspect of the mountain is called, like for example, Himalaya. Himalaya is actual name of a peak also, small peak, but the entire range is called Himalaya. Similarly here, this particular as Andes mountain range, which is on the coast of Peru, is called Uday Parvat, and the whole range is also called Uday Parvat. So the what Sugriva was telling to Vanara is exactly being shown. Now there is another aspect. Now this is the image of an ocean. Now if you look at the image of the ocean here, the black is the Pacific Ocean, and the white ocean is the light gray is the Atlantic or Indian Ocean. So this is how the oceans are meeting. So when they're going towards the west or the east of India, they are crossing through the Black Ocean, and they're going towards the west, which they cross the White Ocean, which is the Atlantic Ocean. Now, after searching through all the Pacific Ocean and islands, you'll reach. So this is the, if you look at the small islands in the middle, then there is a description about bats, different type of bats. They are called Rakshas in Valmiki Ramayana. Rakshas they're called. So there, I found out that when I was researching it, Galapagos Islands in Pacific, they had red sand beaches, and uh, and and bats. A lot of bats were there, and these are the actual pictures of those places. I've informed. I put it out in my book also. So Sugriva tells Vinod, you will also see an ocean known as Shir Sagar. Now Shir Sagar means here, the Shir Sagar means the 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 ocean with the white water. White water means that is a southern tip of South America, where you'll see a foaming water coming out of, uh, which is south of Pacific. The water appears to be white, but it is not exactly white. And then Shir Sagar has a mountain with a snow. It refers to the Antarctica. So here, this is the actual map which is they are traveling. So they are coming all the way south, and they're searching here, and then covering all these islands, and again going further east until they reach South America. Now here they are searching the entire continent South America. So therefore you'll see, because the north American continent was practically unlivable. So there were some Vanara must have gone there, but there is no description over there. But if you look at the map, the entire continent, north and south, are one continent. They're connected together. Panama Canal was made to divide the continent, but generally they're all connected, single land. So to the south, Sugriva sent Hanuman, Nil, Jamavan, Sotra, Sharari, Shargum, Gaj, Guvaksh, Suchena, Vanara. These are all the monkeys were sent, Vanaras sent to the south. And Suchena is the father of Tara also. So if they were not special, how could they have been told, or how could they have been, there have been any conversation? So the conversation was on the basis of the they were all well trained, they were all educated, and they were all children of Devata. Gandhamadan, Ulmamuk, Ananga, Angad, and so these are all the different places they went. So the mountains that they went to the south was Vindhyachal, Narmada, Godavari, Mahanadi, and these are the river basins: Varada River, Utkal, Dasharna, Avantipur, Kalinga, Kaushik, and then south of the Mahendragiri is a parvat made by Agastya Muni within the ocean, and within the ocean, and so this mountain is the actually the mountain across. So the mountain in which the Lanka was situated was a mountain made by Agastya Muni, and Agastya Muni had to leave that mountain and live in Janasthan, same mountain, and that is 800 miles further from the coast from Mahendragiri. So if you look at Mahendragiri in South India, that's in Kerala, and 800 miles from there, like we discussed in one of the shows earlier, that the Lanka is in the middle of the ocean, in the middle. Now this is the proof of that. Another proof. The Sanskrit verse is here: Dvipastaya pare Prat yojana vistrita agamya manusha diptaptam margadvam samantata tata sarvatmana sita margitavya visheshata. So there is an island, and then there are different people before that. So there is an island, there is a Rakshasi Angira attacks him. So this is the location for the south search of Mother Sita. So if you look at this map and Valmiki Ramayana, you are firmly convinced that these Vanara are not ordinary people. They are not like ordinary monkeys. So we will still call them Vanara, but we have to assume that the Vanara, or know for fact that Vanara, which is these special Vanara who were assisting Shri Ram through Sugriva, were not ordinary monkeys. So it completely rests and all the mythological speculations that the Vanara are not monkey, and we don't have to be apologetic about it. We don't have to be ashamed of it. Like somebody says that you're worshipping a monkey, you should not be ashamed about it. Unfortunately, today I'm speaking. I've also got live audience sitting and listening to me, and they don't understand Hindi. So I'm speaking on YouTube as well. I'll have to do that again, but I'll have a live audience sitting here who do not understand Hindi. So I will have to speak in English. So some of you are asking me to speak in English, and that's why I cannot speak, because they are also listening and seeing the presentation. So monkey, we should not be ashamed. They were from Vanara, were monkeys, but special ones. They're very different because Brahma had sent them. So Hanumanji is worshipable by us, all of us, because he is a very special person. He has been purposely sent to assist Sri Ram. And sometimes I always joke with my friends and my students also, that we are all monkeys of Sri Ram, because we want to do whatever we can do little for Sri Ram. We are not ashamed of it, and we should not be ashamed that if the Western Christian or Muslim guy say these guys people worship Muslim Vanara, yes we do, because that's the history. History, we don't worship all Vanara, we worship Hanuman, Sugriva, Vali, Nala, all these special people we worship. And just understand, Sri Ram was very grateful to all these people. Shri Ram tells Sugriva, goes to Shri Ram and asks that so many monkeys have died to get Mother Sita. And Shri Ram gives Abhaydan. Abhaydan means all of them became healthy, they were united with their families, and they were all revived also. and they came back to life and they could join. So not a single Vanara was lost. So if those of you do not know Valmiki Ramayana, not a single Vanar was lost because Sri Ram revived all of them. And also the Indra comes down, and Indra also carries out the order of Sri Ram of taking care of all the Vanara. Few Vanaras like Jambavan and other people they did because Ravan had killed them, but most of the Vanaras they came back with the families. And Sri Ram tells Mother Sita and Mother Lakshman also that how these Vanaras played on their life to give to protect Sita or to search for Sita. And if you look at the description of fight between the Vanara and the Rakshasa army of Ravan, it's it's simply ferocious. There's no word to that. With how they fought and how long they fought to protect. The fight went on for a month, approximately a month, where the complete Lanka was destroyed, and it was an intense fight, very intense. All the Rakshasa armies, all the Vanara senas of Sugriv, they all fought together. Climax was that Ravan was killed. That was the climax. So I'll stop here. It has to be a short presentation. Like I said, I respect your time and respect everybody else's time. I'll stick to the time limit. I will have 20 minutes to answer the questions. So I will. अंकित सिंह says यहाँ उत्तर भारत में गर्व से हनुमान जी को पूजते हैं. That is true. Actually, Hanuman ji is worshipped even in South America. Uh, there is a Mapuche tribe, and I was in a Wariga tribe. I was recently with them, and also in the Amazon forest. Lot of their religious figures resemble monkeys, and one of the tribe leaders told me that they actually think that all these monkeys come from Far East. And looking at me, they were saying they come from India. And but I I did not say anything because I wanted to hear from them. So they admit that they came from the east via boats. That's what they think of like that. So the bubble says Manik Patil. No, Sanskrit word for ape is Vanara. They were not humans. Like I already said, that Vanara are special. They are children of Devata. They are special. They are not ordinary monkeys, but they were Devatas had produced children in the monkey through the monkey mothers. Okay? And so don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed. Like that's what they want to show you. That look at how is it possible. That's what I want to tell you. How is it possible? There are many things possible, isn't it? Like they believe that the some of them they believe in their own dogmatic thoughts. You know, the Gabriel, imaginary things, Gabriel, and all these kind of things, angels. If you want us to believe that, why don't you believe Hanuman is real? Right? That's the logic you give them. You don't have to be ashamed. Yes, we worship Hanuman. We are proud. He was a Vanar, and we are proud of it. So we don't be ashamed of that. And then, sir, why sir always ignoring Sri Lanka in your explanation of Ramayana? And okay, first of all, you need to learn Sanatan Dharma Vidya. You need to read Valmiki Ramayana. You do not read Valmiki Ramayana, and therefore you get in behind or against people, individuals. Okay, so by the statement Sanatan Dharma Vidya, whatever your real name will be, looks like you have not read Valmiki Ramayana, and your propaganda against individuals is totally not correct. Sorry to say that. Anonymous says Gabriel is Lord Shiva. Totally not. Gabriel is an imaginary figure. It has nothing to do with reality. It's a hallucination. Uh, where is During Rama coronation, Vanaras took their human form, rode the elephants. You're right, because that is the Vardhan of Brahma. Kabir Shah, that is the Vardhan of Brahma. Brahma gave a boon to these Vanara that they could change any into any form, whether it's a human or they can increase their size, decrease their size, they can jump and they can go anywhere. So this is the boon given by Brahma to them. The मानिक पटेल जी लिखते हैं Vanara Nara who lives in Vana. All these definitions are created later on. Okay, Vanara, don't be ashamed. Vanara is a monkey, and but these special Vanaras, which I'm talking about, the the Hanuman, Sushena, all these Sugriva, Vali, they were special. They were children of Devta in from the womb of monkey mothers. Okay. Now all Vanaras are born again now. No, I I do not again I say the same thing. Then do not be ashamed. Do not be ashamed. सिंपल भाषा में बोले तो ब्रह्मा जी ने मनुष्य जैसे अंकित शाही से और बंदर का डीएनए लेके एक न्यू स्पीशी बनाई जैसे जाम्बवान बने जैसे गरुड़. So understand one thing. Brahma is the material creator of the world. Brahma doesn't need your DNA. Your DNA is because of Brahma. So the whole planet's DNA is because of Brahma. I live in San Diego and we have the biggest genetic research. You'll be shocked to know that 99% of DNA of all species of life is the same. Only 1% of DNA is different. So Brahma is the material creator of the world. Brahma doesn't need your DNA. Your DNA is because of Brahma. Can you, so video freeze. Yes, sorry about that. I think there was some internet issue. I'm not in my studio today, so that's why it is happening like that. Uh, the I'll just take one more question. The Setu, sorry about that. Yeah, please throw some light on oceanographic studies which corroborate location of Lanka down south of Mali Islands. Setu Madhavan Rangarajan. Lot of oceanographic evidences, lot of them. And in my last show, if you want to search on it, in my last episode on the live show we had, I had shared that. Go and check it out. Go and check it out. You will see in one of the last shows with the position of Lanka. I have shared geographic and oceanographic evidences also. जाम्बवन जटायु पे विस्तार से चर्चा करें. Jatayu is a one of the best stories, and Jambavan came from the Brahma's mouth, and he is the one who reminds Hanuman to cross over. And that's why we see the entire episode of Hanuman getting reminded of his own powers. अभी के वानर में और can you mean Vedic cosmic science and where is this Ashura? Great question. I'm going to cover Vedic cosmic science. In fact, I have a lot of interest in cosmology, and the I'm going to make a video on that, on the position of planets, the distances, and also how each and every planet actually interacts with each other. You'll be shocked to know that the planet Earth, according to various Veda and Purana, is not rotating at all. Just briefly, I'm touching, just to give you some interest. It's not rotating at all. And therefore, if you look at the whole position of geosynchronous satellites, when they are launched from Earth, they are stationary. And now another theory is given, they are rotating as per the rotation of the Earth. It's not happening. You'll never see, if they're rotating, that means they're clashing with somebody else, some other satellite at the same place, because all of them are 36,000 kilometers up. So the entire cosmic model is a different discussion altogether. The Vedic cosmic model has not changed and is not going to change. It's the same thing. Means it is not altered till the time, from the time Vedas are written. And you'll be shocked to see that most of the major calculations of the modern satellites being launched is on an assumption that Earth is not moving at all. Or that is the assumption they make. So how did they come at that assumption? That is a question to be asked. So I'm going to cover that in detail some other show later on. What is your take on Nilesh Oak's work, because it negates the position on Ram Setu? Ajay ji, if you read Valmiki Ramayan, anyone who reads Valmiki Ramayan will come to the same conclusion that the Lanka is not Sri Lanka. Anyone who reads Valmiki Ramayan. So you do not have to make it political here. Most of the rishis, Madhavendra Puri, Ramanujacharya, and many of the great rishis and our acharyas have concluded Lanka is a different Lanka. Sri Lanka is a recent name. It was known as Simhala Desh, according to Surya Siddhanta. Junna, please make on Bhagavatam fifth canto. Yes, fifth canto has a lot of details on Vedic cosmology, and also the description of hellish planets also is in fifth canto. But I'm going to cover from Mahabharata, the Markandeya Rishi's description, and also the description of Vedavyas, plus also the description of Suta Goswami. All three are mentioned in Mahabharata and other Purana also. Do you have detailed Vedic science to compare modern universe? Understand, there is nothing modern. The whole concept of modern is a useless concept. See, when you remove bad habits and adopt good habits, that's modern, according to me. If you are, if you have bad habits and if you are dogmatic and you come and search for knowledge, that's a good habit. That's modern. There's nothing modern. Like if you look at the somebody says the earth is improving, and if you look at the statistics, the number of hospitals have increased. That means more people are falling sick. So where is modernity right now? So we may have all kinds of planes and all kinds of highways and internet. What is happening? Depression is increasing. People are getting more worried. People are getting more into hospitals. So what is modernism? So we'll have to question that ourselves. भगवत गीता के वैज्ञानिक दिव्य अस्त्र, वैदिक व्यास चैनल, दिव्य अस्त्र का रिसर्च होना चाहिए. अगर उसके जवाब मिल सके तो एथीस्ट के मुंह अपने आप ही बंद हो जाएंगे. आपको पहली बात तो एथीस्ट वर्ड इज नॉट देयर इन वेद. द वर्ड इज नास्तिक in Sanskrit. Atheist is a Christian word. Like atheist means those who do not believe in the Christian gods, Abrahamic gods. In our culture, in Sanatan Dharma, there is the word is Nastic, Astic. Nastic means which does not believe in any existence. So that means Asti means which exists, Nastic means which doesn't exist. So you cannot have any people who don't believe in anything. So Nastic are also allowed in Vedic tradition. In Christianity and other places, atheistic people are killed. They're called infidel or kafir or whatever they call it, Abrahamic faith. They're killed. In our culture, Vedic culture is not like that. In Vedic culture, you can be a Nastic but still a follower of the Veda. You can do that. Please make video on origin of life. Now, origin of life, we'll cover that. It's a good topic to cover that. Origin of life actually begins from time immemorial. Ever since the creation started, it begins with that. Okay? So, origin of life is right from the time of Brahma, when Brahma was born. I don't believe in the theory amoeba, plants, and then fish, and then after the human beings. Vedic culture doesn't talk about that. Vedic culture says the life appears simultaneously across the entire planet. And it took some time, but obviously took some time, but it came automatically. Now, many astrologers and even Nilesh Oak takes the earth is rotating. So this is a different subject matter to discuss. We'll cover that later on. But according to my observation, I'm not saying others. I'm talking about me. I may be wrong. According to my res- study, I could never see any shloka which says Bhugol is rotating. I did not see that. Any shloka. It's the Surya Siddhanta, there is one shloka in Surya Siddhanta. It says Earth is stationary, Earth is in one place. And Bhagavad Puran assumes from Earth in all the directions. If Earth was rotating, the directions will be changing, right? There's logic over there. If Earth was rotating, anyway, we'll talk about it later on in some other show, not in this one. There's one good question is Vishwajit Sathe. If you're listening, Vishwajit Sathe ji, अभी के वानर और तब के वानर में क्या अंतर है? एग्जाम्पल रीड गेडी सीधी. See, देखिए वानर्स डोंट गो टू ऑर्थोपेडिक डॉक्टर्स. दे डोंट गो देयर. तो रीड केडी कैसे सीधी होगी? Right? They don't go to orthopedic doctor. So these are questions which are not very important. Vanara was Vanara that time also, now also. Only thing is sizes are different. Now the Vanara well mentioned in Ramayan, those Vanaras are very special. They're very gifted. They have been given powers to control. So they're different type of Vanara. Today I'm speaking in English. Some of you are worried why I'm speaking English. The sign was in Hindi and why I'm speaking in English. I'm at a place where a lot of live people are watching me, and they want to understand, so they do not speak in Hindi and they don't understand. Okay, so next time I'll do that. Any other question anyone has? The Ravan found Swarglok through Kumardev's plane, but scientists cannot find any such place or loka. Uh, our scientists didn't find any such place or loka. Can we get some idea from Valmiki Raman? Can we find higher dimension proof from Mahabharata? Obviously, you can do that. We do not see, the thing is, this world, most of the modern scientists, if you see, the only thing which people are concerned about the space is commercial applications. And the earth's population is decreasing, not increasing. If you see, the rate of growth of human population has decreased. It was 4.8 in 1800s. Actually 1800s was started increasing. Now it is 2.8, generally 2.8 to 3. or less than 2.8 also sometimes. It's decreasing. So we don't need a place on moon, we don't need a place on Mars. So most of the space exploration is for commercial reasons, for satellites, for renting, and for telecom communication purposes only. So the Swargaloka, where is Swargaloka? You cannot gate crash. You cannot go there. Without good karma, you cannot go to Swargaloka. Devtas protect it, so you cannot go in the same plane. Ravana was trying to get into Swargaloka through stairs. Very good question. Jambu Dweep क्या है? Jambu Dweep is the entire Asia. It's called Jambu Dweep. Asia is called Jambu Dweep, and Europe is called Shark Dweep. I hope that answers it. Michael Cremo, definitely I'll bring. I speak to him. He's my neighbor, you can say, but I'll talk to him. Get it. The Lanka is found. I remember Nilesh Chokji was doing something on it. Yes, Lanka is found. Lanka is there. Lanka is found. Lanka is I already presented in one of my last shows, and that is based on Valmiki Ramayan's reference, Surya Siddhanta, and also spoken by many great acharyas also. Some kind of research is required to rediscover the means of weaponry science. So most of the weapons today are fire weapons. There are no air weapons, no water weapons, no cold weapons. Ramayan discusses around 136 weapon systems. Ramayan talks about, and the Mahabharata talks about close to 680 weapon systems. 683 weapon systems. Mahabharata talks about. While Ramayan, Shri Ram gets around 136 weapons from Vishwamitra, and then he gets four others from Agastya Muni. So there are a lot of different weapon systems were known, and they were used also in the wars Ramayana and Mahabharata both. Patal kaha hai? So there are two explanations for it. One is the Patal from the point of view of Devata. So therefore, from the point of view of Devata, it's a different planet, not Earth. But a name is given to the other side of Bharat as Patal. So generally for Earth, the other side of Ujjain, totally on the other side on the globe, if you look at the globe, on the other side of Ujjain is Patal, pretty much. सो श्रीमान, आपको ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि अपने कर्म द्वारा स्वर को देखा जा सकता? जो मनुष्य अपनी शक्तियों को जागृत करते हैं, शायद वो देख सकते हैं. See, this the entire concept of shaktiyan jagrat karna, that is again karma, isn't it? That is also karma. That you are doing karma to see the swarga. But why you want to just see it? Why don't go and live over there? My question is different. Why do you want to just see swarga? Why don't you want to live there? So that process of living in Swargaloka is explained in Bhagavad Gita and also in Mahabharata. Arjun, Yudhishthir, they all saw Swargaloka, they all went to Swargaloka. In fact, Arjun and Yudhishthir in Mahabharata time are the only people who went with their same human body to Swargaloka. That means Swargaloka is a place. It is definitely a place. And it is far away. It is not close by. And you have to be invited to go there based on your karma. So these three are there. Swargaloka is a place, it is far away, and you have to be invited. So if we do our karma properly, then all three conditions will apply to us. Okay? What were the original names of Karakoram and Hindukush mountains? So Hindukush mountains were known as Somagiri or Somagiri Ashram, and Karakoram were known as Himalayas only, the same Himalaya. Hindu Kush name was put by the Muslims because many Hindus were killed there. They wanted to prove to others that if any Hindu comes there, he'll be killed. That's why it's called Hindu Kush. The entire story of tectonic plates, I want to ask you, if the plates were shifting under your feet, won't you see a movement all the time? It doesn't happen. The Bharat that you see is the same described in Valmiki Ramayan, same described in Mahabharata, and even Rig Veda also, and other Veda also. It's the same Bharat. You don't see Bharat colliding in Gondwana land or this land. That is all theories. Those are all theories. Western world is very clever in marketing. They create something, they sell it, and we all buy it. But why do we have to buy it? My question to you is: Vanara women Homo sapiens. The question is: Vanara women were Homo sapiens. Understand one thing: Vanara women were not human. The women were Vanaras. The men were Devata. Okay, that's how it was. So, but they were with special powers, eternal sunshine. भूमध्य लेखा का उल्लेख है क्या? Yes, Surya Siddhanta as well as Valmiki Ramayana has reference to that. Do Mayasur have any connection in Maya culture or South America? I have not researched that. I have not researched that. I cannot answer you that question. But my speculation, based on my reading of Valmiki Ramayana, that the temples of Mayan culture, which is in southwest of Mexico, they are very much on the lines of temples in India. Both are pretty much the same. Okay, so I feel, I feel that that is a situation, but we'll have to verify that. So the Mayasur episode of South America, and the connection with Ravan and connection with other Vedic stories has to be explored. But the temple architectures of South America and Hindu temples in India are the same, and pyramids of Egypt. These three have similar structures. They are called Ashtak. Ashtak means Ashtadig Darshak is called Ashtak. So, eight directions. All the Hindu temples are made following the eight directions. Uh, is there any other question you have? I've covered most of them. I do not know if I'm missing anything. Okay, there's one very interesting about the Japanese. Hanuman I can call as Saruta Biko. Understand, Shintos or the Japanese culture is very influenced from Indian culture. In fact, Shinto is generally is referred to as Skanda. Skanda, I mean, right now the Durga is going on, Skanda Matar Bhagavati. So the Skanda culture, the Skanda or the samurai culture of Japan is very much come from Indian Vedic culture, and most of the deities in Japanese Shinto culture are also Hindu culture. So Japanese are one of the Hindus. Gabriel is Lord Shiva. Totally wrong. Gabriel is imaginary. Shiva is real. Okay, so do not ever compare this nonsense. This I don't know who says it. This is done by crazy people. Shivji is real. Gabriel is imagination. Gabriel is the you can think of him as hallucination. There's no such thing as Gabriel. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Sir, please make video about Battle of Ten Kings. I do not know which kings you're talking about. Battle of Ten Kings. I don't know that. Uh, Vivek Asrani. My latest book has come out. I've written 8 books, 9 books, and so my latest book has come out. Gold, Glory, and God. I have covered Zoroastrianism in detail in that book. If you want to read that, you can get it there. It's on Kindle right now on Sattology. So you search Sattology, it's called on Amazon, you'll see the book over there, Gold, Glory, and God. And in that, I have covered a detail about Zoroastrianism. So Zoroastrianism is nothing but Hinduism. So entire Parsik Desh, Sanskrit name is Parsik, entire Parsik Desh, which is Iran, Iraq, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Armenia, all these areas are Parsik. And so pretty much the entire South, Central Asia was Parsik Desh, was closely connected to Sanatan Dharma, was a Hindu territory. Okay, so Zoroastrianism and Hinduism, that's why when Islam attacked Persia, Parsik Desh, Greeks call it Persia, most of the Zoroastrian people came to India. And they are very famous in India, Tatas, and they opened Godrej, Tatas, they opened many companies in India. They're all the Parsis who ran away from there, Zoroastrian people. Why the de- why the descriptions of Anand Ramayan, Adhyatma Ramayan, Valmiki Ramayan are little different? The original Ramayan is Valmiki Ramayan. Rest all other Ramayans are not. Valmiki Ramayan was the only Ramayan which was sung by Love and Kush in front of Shri Ram. Most of the other Ramayans are commentaries. Okay, so if you want to get historical information, you should get it from Valmiki Ramayan. Video on Dasarjan Arjuna, yes, definitely I'll do it. So, क्या मंगल या शुक्र ग्रह पर भी कभी जीवन था? Was there a life on Venus and Uranus? So all planets have lives. All planets, according to Veda, all planets have lives. We just can't go to other planets without the will of the governing deity of that planet, like the governing deva of that planet. If that deva who is governing that planet doesn't give us permission, we cannot go there. Adhyatma Ramayana is embedded in Brahmanda Puran now. Every Puran has a description of Ramayana. Every Puran, including there is a ninth. If you look at the Nava Skand of Bhagavad Puran, has also Ramayana in it. Even Duryodhan talks about Ramayana in Mahabharata. So Ramayana is everywhere. Shri Ram's story is everywhere. But the most historical, authentic account is Valmiki Ramayana. Historical account, I'm saying. Great question. Flat Earth theory according to Hinduism. Sanatan Dharma has always said Bhugol. Always Bhugol is round like a ball. So flat Earth theory is for those people. According to them, the ship will fall off from the Earth. Right. So it is not according to Shastra. Thank you. Thank you, Vedic Vyas. Can we say that the descriptions of Ramayana are different due to Kalpa Bheda? Well, you don't need to understand what is Kalpa. Do you know what is Kalpa? Saumya Brother Sahu. Saumya Brat Sahu. Saumya Brat Sahu. I have a different screen today. I cannot see everything clearly. So forgive me for that. And plus, I'm in a totally different location right now. So Saumya Brat Sahu is says that the descriptions of Ramayana different due to Kalpa. Kalpa is a day of Brahma, very large time period. In that 14 Manus come and almost 1000 cycles of Satyug, Dwapar Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga come. So it's a very big cycle, very big cycle. So Kalpa Bheda means everything forgotten. At the night of Brahma, everything is finished. Everything is finished, becomes dormant, and again in his morning it starts again. So Kalpa, this is not a good question. That's what I want to tell you. Samya Brat Sahuji. Okay. What is your view on moon landing and all the space things? Well, my view on moon landing is very clear. That what have you got back? I have to ask that question. What did you bring back from the moon? Rocks? Like I went to Smithsonian in Washington D.C. and I just saw the rocks, moon rocks. I can go to any store and buy rocks or collect rocks on the street. So what you're getting after moon landing? That's my question. Are you getting just rocks? What is the purpose? So if you're not getting anything valuable, why to spend so much effort in going getting things? Yeah. And good question, Aditya Gokhale, is what is your take on the fictional serials that are being aired on certain channels that take up our deities and destroy and fool the youngsters about our culture? TV serials are designed to destroy Sanatan Dharma, most of them, majority of them, including the old serials of Valmiki Ramayan, the Ramayan and other plays shown. You read your scriptures, open Ramayan and read it, open Puran and read it. Do not watch TV serials. TV serials are just for commercial value, for TRPs. So their job is they're paid to provide misinformation. So I totally discourage it. Our Shastra based discussion that we are doing right now, that is more important. Rajkumar ji, you cannot, none of us can gate crash into any planet. We have to take permission. डार्क मैटर का आध्यात्मिक पक्ष बताएं. So every matter has a dark matter, like every body has antibody. Okay, so if you see a light particle, there'll also be a dark particle. Otherwise, you cannot understand the difference between light and dark. Hanumanji and other superpowers is explained everywhere about in detail. Is it explained anywhere about this in detail? I have covered that in my book One Arrow One Kill on Amazon. If you go to Amazon, search Sattology, you'll see all my books over there. Sattology. So please join Sattology courses, Sattology clubs, and also join our YouTube channel. Send our YouTube channel subscriber link to other people so people can join. Uh, who were the asuras? A lot of questions are coming in now. Okay, let me just take: is Bhavishya Puran authentic, fake, or it was corrupted by missionaries and British colonialists? See, understand one thing: Bhavishya Puran is not fake, is real, but people who do not understand Sanskrit misinterpret it. Like one of Jokers is Zakir Naik. He's hate to call his name. I call him a joker. He called something, he read something, and I won't say anything, but he totally mistranslated. Totally mistranslated. Then is there so crazy Coscolix? So according to you, all the moon research programs are worthless. What are you achieving? Economic value. What is the economic value of a moon mission? Are you going to set up a colonies there? We have to ask ourselves. You set up a colonies over there? If it was, if you want to set up a colony, have you landed it even once? Has anyone come back from moon? All them, only one continent, one country has gone to moon. That is US. Nobody else has gone. So we have to check. Uh, uh, Food. What kind of food people eat during Ramayana and Mahabharata era? That description is there in Valmiki Ramayana, description in Mahabharata also. What kind of food they eat? Okay, and then what was uh, so? Was there any life on Mars during Satyuga or Treta and Dwapar Yuga or any other time period before 25,000 years? This. Understand one thing: all planets have been populated. They have different types of residences over there, and that's what the Puranas say. But we have to see about this life where we are living right now, what kind of karma we are doing, and that's what we need to question. So the name Crazy Costco. I'll just try to answer you one more time. Crazy Costco. The economic value. Understand one thing: moon research. These are all funded researches for research departments. What is the value to the human civilization? You do not understand that question. So I'm going to answer to you. So there has to be some return for the human society. All right, that's it. Thank you for coming on the show today. Uh, how to motivate the youngsters to read authentic scriptures considering the limited attention capacities? Well, this is a great question, Aditya Gokhleji. Children are very sharp minds and they're fresh minds. We should encourage them to read the original scriptures, like from Ramayana and Valmiki Ramayana. Possibly try to read them. If they understand, they can read Devanagari. They should read in Sanskrit and Hindi if they can. If they cannot, then in English, and they will form their own opinion if they are put in front of the original scriptures. So, because yes, Bhagadatta kingdom is mentioned in both the areas. Like there is a mention about Bhagadatta on the west of India, which is in Bhagada, and that is mentioned there. But Prag Jyotishpur was also called the kingdom of Bhagadatta, which is Guwahati. Sir, which Vedanta philosophy do you follow? Advaita, Dvaita, Vishish Advaita. So the best philosophy is to follow the philosophy of common sense. Read and follow. So the time is up. We have proceeded on the time. Thank you all for joining. Do next week you join. We'll come up with a very interesting topic. And based on the questions today, I'll cover the cosmic research in the next topic. Thank you and namaste.